Hello guys and welcome to part 2 of a video series. In this video I'm gonna be covering mid-game, warding timings, preventing support from getting caught, how to maintain high CS per minute, when to rotate. So what are you here for? Let's head to it. So what do you do when you come to a mid lane? After you come to the mid lane, you need to make sure that you're pressuring the enemy bot lane, right? So what you can do is shove the wave in, and of course you don't want to be overextended. You want to have a good vision control. So what do you do then? After you shove in the wave, you go into enemy jungle with your support, because how many times did it happen to you that your support went toward alone and suddenly they got caught and they were just dying, and automatically you lose the pressure mid lane, and then you're unable to roam, and then enemies start roaming around map, dominating the map because of that support pick. So to prevent that, make sure that you're walking with your support and getting deep vision here. After you get deep vision, you come back to the lane, you push in the lane again. After you push in the lane, you have several options. So your goal is to deny jungle camps, take your own jungle camps, take scuttle crabs, or rotate to other lanes, right? This is your goal. So right now, because the mid tier 1 is still up, I would probably just go for the safest play, which is push in the wave and then either go for the scuttle crab, come back, push mid. For example, there's another scuttle crab up, come back, push mid. After you push mid, you take raptors, right? Because, oh, by the way, never take the raptors if your jungler is pathing towards them, because it's gonna be quite mad, and then you can actually lose the game by just taking your raptors, right? So instead, if you see that, for example, Kha'Zix is going for a top lane, he's not pathing to the raptors, you come in and take the raptors. Another thing is, if you see your Kha'Zix taking raptors, red, Krugs, and looking for a play bot side, and the wolves are up, what you can do is just rotate to wolves, take wolves, come back to the mid, push in mid, and then you can continue pressuring the map, right? Also, it's really nice, and it's really important to, after you push in the mid wave, to rotate top side, right? For example, there's gonna be a top laner, right? One top laner, two top laners, and you see a play happening bot side, and enemy jungler shows himself bot side, right? So what you can do is just shove in the wave, rotate top, and after you rotate, you dive the enemy top laner, right? Because you're 3 versus 1, right? Of course, mid laner can TP in, so you need to take consideration of that as well, right? But most cases, the enemy mid laner already use their TP, or they're not confident enough to actually go for a TP play, right? So you're gonna get a free dive. Even if they TP in, you probably will have still enough time to dive them, just because how strong you are, you're snowballing the game, right? So after getting a kill topside, make sure that you finish out the turret, right? Meanwhile, your jungler probably gonna be rotating mid and defending the mid turret and catching the mid XP. After you get the top turret, but bot turret is already gone as well, right? Your next goal is a mid turret. Most likely you're gonna have herald access, and of course, because you have great vision control and you have good vision in general, right, around the herald, so you're gonna get the objective for free. Also, of course, if you kill the top laner, get the top wave, it's gonna be even harder for them to contest you. Another thing is, you need to make sure that you're tracking the dragon timer. So whenever there's like 1 minute left before the dragon, you always want to look for a reset, buy your items, or if you already reset it before 1 minute, you can go for a deep vision in enemy jungle, because the objective is still spawning in quite a while, so you have enough time to actually go for deep vision enemy jungle, right? Help your support, of course, so we don't get caught alone, right? Therefore, we're gonna have full vision control. But for example, if you had a lot of gold and you don't have enough time to actually go for the vision control, right, what you can do is just come back to the lane, right, and your support gonna place a little bit closer vision, right? So it's not gonna be as deep vision as you could have gotten before, but it's still pretty good. And that way you spend your gold, right, and you come back to the dragon and you're the strongest as you can be on the dragon fight. Alright, after that you get herald, you herald mid, the mid turret is gone as well. What do you do after 3 outer turrets is gone? After 3 outer turrets already been destroyed, your next goal is to shove in the wave, go for deep vision enemy jungle, right? And after you get division, come back, shove in mid, go for raptors, come back, shove in mid, go for scuttle, come in, shove mid, go for scuttle crab again, come back mid, shove mid, go for wolves, come in mid, shove mid, go for raptors, come in mid, shove mid, and continue the process. But while your goal are division and raptors and wolves, and this would be the ideal scenario to actually snowball the game and get 10 kills per minute, because you're non-stop farming, right? You're catching up with waves, you're catching up, you're taking up the enemy jungle, right? Which would be pretty good. But also you need to make sure that you're rotating whenever you see an opportunity to go for a kill. For example, enemy top laners are extended, you just catch them up. Another great option is going bot lane and catching someone out in bot lane, right? So of course another option would be to go into enemy jungle, right? And because you have great vision control and you know that the enemy jungler is bot side, you can go with your jungler because you know that you have man advantage. You can just go for a pick, right? And that way you're gonna make enemy jungler's life miserable. So there's quite a lot of options, and of course the options varies from game to game. So use your best judgment to determine should you join a fight and when you should be joining a fight and when you shouldn't. So a great rule of thumb would be, if you have man advantage, you should always take the fight. If you have man disadvantage, don't go for a play, don't join the team. Your goal as an ADC is to make sure that you're there for the objectives, right? And that you're there to push turrets, right? So this is your job. So if there's a random fight occurring in the jungle, and for example the mid wave is neutral, right, and you know that fight is already doomed, what you can do is just continue pushing the mid lane. So right now, what happens if enemy team, for example, your jungler gets caught, right? It happens so many times, right? Your jungler gets caught, your top laner gets caught with him, right? They both die topside, you're 3v5, you're not strong enough to contest the Baron. What do you do then? So a really good option is you can actually just continue pushing mid, right? Or for example, the auto turret is already gone, right? You can continue pushing the mid, and after you get the mid turret, we're still on the Baron, for example, right? We finish out the Baron. You can even go for another wave and execute, right, while getting it. Or another option, just back out if you have enough time, right? Depending how much vision you have, depending if you know where the enemies are. So that way it's gonna take a really long time for enemies to actually push out in the mid wave, right? And by the time that we're pushing the mid wave, you already came back, right? And you're gonna be there for the team fights. Alright, another case scenario. Okay, you get all the outer turrets, your team gets a pick on enemy jungler, right? And you're 4v5. So right now you start the Baron. Of course, before you start the Baron, always make sure that you're pushing out the wave. Same thing with Dragon. Before you start Dragon, make sure that you're pushing out the wave and then rotate to the Dragon, right? If there's a skirmish already started, most of the times you're still gonna be pushing mid out, right? While your team is kiting back. And then after you pushing mid out, you can join the team and just run them down. Alright, so what do you do at Baron? At Baron, for example, you got a pick on an enemy jungler, right? You start with Baron, it's 5v4. So if an enemy show up, of course you just turn on them, right? And of course you're gonna be winning the fight because it's 5v4. Another great thing is just sticking on the Baron, finishing the Baron out because of you have man advantage. Alright, and you get the Baron. So for example, okay, enemies didn't contest the Baron, you got the Baron, what do you do next? So that's about it for this video. Part 3 will be coming out tomorrow, and if it already came out, there's gonna be a little notification up on the right of the screen popping in right now. So click on it and go to part 3 of the series. Thanks for watching, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and have a nice rest of your day.